and welcome to this short clip to support Maths Week Scotland. Maths is all around us. We know that, don't we? So we can see it in our homes, we can see it in our outdoor spaces, we see it in our world of work. Maths is in every sporting event that takes place, and it's also in nature. But today we're thinking about where maths comes in the way that we express ourselves creatively, because we see maths in art and music and in dance. Today we're going to be looking at tessellation. Tessellation is just when tiles are used to cover a space with no gaps and no overlays. We can see tessellation around us, and in fact you may want to stop the clip now and go for a walk around school and see what examples you can find. In our school, most of the shapes that tessellate outside are squares or rectangles, and it's often only one shape that's used. But there are other examples, and when you're out and about, have a look, especially at driveways and things like that. See what shapes you can see that have been used to tessellate. However, it's not always just one shape. Sometimes multiple shapes can be used to tessellate. Have a look at this example. You can see that there's no gaps, there's no overlays, but different shapes have been used. I'm sure you can identify them. It doesn't always have to be regular shapes either that tessellate. Take a jigsaw for example. A jigsaw covers an area with no gaps and overlays, and yet those shapes are not regular. So, the Romans were great fans of tessellation. It goes back a very long way. They used tiles to make mosaics. And in this example, this is a very well-known mosaic that tells people to beware of the dog. One of the most famous tessellation artists is probably MC Escher, a Dutch graphic artist who just loved mathematics, inspiring his work. He is really well known for some of the tessellations that he created, and you may want to stop the clip now and look at a website which will show you some of the examples of his work. So today, we're going to try and make a tile of our own, based upon the idea that Escher had. So to do that, we're going to start first of all with a shape that we know tessellates. So we're going to take a square. We know that squares tessellate. And we look at our square and we're just going to make a cut somewhere in our square. I'm going to make a cut in the middle here to create another little shape. To ensure that I've got a tile, I'm going to slide this shape from where I've cut it to exactly opposite it here. And I'm going to stick it down there. Now, to save a little bit of time, I've got some that I've already made. So here we go. We can keep doing this and we can actually cut again, different shapes. So long as we remember that when we make a cut, we slide it round and attach it in exactly the opposite position. When we've done that a few times, we'll end up with a completely different shape to the one that we started. I'm going to stop with this. I'm quite happy with 3 cuts. I would say don't do too many cuts for your first attempt. We can then see if our tile tessellates. We do that by simply drawing around our tile and then sliding it to make sure it fits. And you can see from this example that this tile will tessellate to cover with no gaps and no overlays. Now the fun part comes, because just as Escher made sure that every tile he did created an image of something, we can do that with ours. So when I look at my image, I think, this looks a bit like an animal. It seems to have some ears. And so I'm now going to decorate it. I'm not quite sure if this is a rabbit or a fox. What do you think? Go off and explore your own tessellations. They're great fun.